Welcome back to my channel. Today we're traveling through centuries of French cuisine to create a spring menu that combines three fascinating historical influences. We'll be looking at Charlemagne's Capitulare de Ville from the 9th century, essentially his royal garden planting guide, Massialot's elegant recipes from the 17th century at Versailles, and Menon's refined 18th century bourgeois cooking techniques. Before we dive into our spring menu, inspired by 18th century French cuisine, I want to share a little behind the scenes reality of my journey. As you can see, I'm currently working with just an electric hot plate, while my beautiful wood stove remains dormant for now. Hopefully, that will all change with a winter's supply of wood. But that won't stop us from exploring seasonal eating as it was practiced centuries ago. For today's menu, I've carefully selected modern interpretations of recipes found in Massialot's and Menon's historical cookbooks. You'll notice that each dish is properly credited to the talented modern cooks who've adapted these historical techniques for today's kitchens. Technically, it's spring, but the temperature doesn't feel like it yet. And the reason for that is Clugnet is smack dab in the middle of France, perched, as it were, at the confluences of weather streams coming in from the Atlantic, up from the Mediterranean, and down from the north. Sometimes it feels like I'm still living on Adak. But first, let's set the table. The French turned their forks and spoons down, and in prior times the knives and forks would have been placed above the plate. Hands are on the table, not in your lap, to prove you were not holding a weapon. Bread is typically served in a basket on the table, and guests can take bread and butter a piece at a time, breaking it and placing it on their bread plate to the left of their dinner plate. As a French colonial reenactor, we were always on the lookout for British spies who sliced their bread instead of breaking it as we French did. I've designed an 8-course spring menu that bridges these epochs while celebrating the fresh flavors of the season. A selection of fresh spring greens and herbs highlight our entrees. First, our spring herb soup, a celebration of early garden herbs that would have been treasured after winter. Charlemagne specifically mandated these herbs in his royal gardens: chervil, sorrel, chives, and parsley. Menon, in his famous cookbook Le Cuisinière Bourgeois, gave us several variations of herb soups. The key is to briefly blanch the herbs to preserve their vibrant color and delicate flavor, then blend them with a light chicken stock. Next, our asparagus and sorrel tart, a dish Massialot would have recognized from his time cooking at Versailles and Le Cuisinière Royal at Bourgeois. The combination of spring asparagus with tangy sorrel creates a perfect balance. Massialot was known for elegant flavor pairings that highlighted seasonal ingredients. Two main dishes feature chicken and carp. Our first main is this herb roasted chicken, seasoned with thyme, sage, and rosemary, all herbs from Charlemagne's Capitulare. Menon would have approved of this preparation, as he emphasized the importance of fresh herbs in poultry dishes. The herbs create a fragrant crust while keeping the meat tender. Our second main dish is braised carp with fine herbs. Massiello included several carp recipes in his royal cookbook, as freshwater fish was highly prized. This preparation uses spring onions, garlic, and parsley, all from Charlemagne's garden list. The gentle braising preserves the delicate flavor of the fish while infusing it with herbs. Next, two fresh vegetable dishes, both peas and beans. These French-style peas would have been a highlight of spring dining in the 18th century. Both Massialot and Menon featured similar preparations. The technique of cooking peas with lettuce, spring onions, and butter enhances their sweetness. Peas appear in the Capitulare, showing their importance even in medieval gardens. Our second vegetable dish is this broad bean ragout. Fava beans also appear in Charlemagne's garden guide and feature prominently in Menon's spring recipes. The combination of young beans with savory bacon and herbs creates a dish that bridges the medieval and early modern periods of French cuisine. Meals feel incomplete without dessert. Dessert was not just a final touch to a meal, but a distinct course, often served after the main meal and sometimes in a different room. A set of porcelain, dishes, and cutlery, often with a garden theme, was used for serving desserts. Jellies, ices, sweetmeats, syllabubs, cakes, biscuits, and both fresh and candied fruits were popular. Confectioners created elaborate, multi-tiered dessert displays called pièces montées that were all the rage. For dessert, first we have this fresh strawberry tart. Strawberries were listed in the Capitulare and would have been among the first fruits of spring. Massialot was renowned for his pastry techniques, and this simple tart with a light glaze allows the fruit to shine. Finally, our orange flower cream, a delicate dessert that would have delighted diners in 18th century France. Orange flower water was a popular flavoring mentioned by both Massielot and Menon, bringing a subtle perfume to this silky cream. This spring menu connects us to centuries of French culinary tradition, from Charlemagne's practical garden guide to the refined techniques of royal and bourgeois cooking in the 18th century. What fascinates me is how these historical influences still inform seasonal French cooking today. The emphasis on fresh, local ingredients and herbs at their peak remains central to French cuisine. I hope this inspires you to explore historical cookbooks and perhaps create your own historically inspired seasonal menu. Next time, I'll be paying homage to my first 1,000 subscribers by answering some questions and comments received. Please join me. If you enjoyed this culinary journey through time, please like and subscribe for more historical kitchen, garden, and home decorating adventures. And be sure and request your copy of my hearth cooking guide. The link is in the description below.